here to talk about more about the West Bloomfield High School eSports team and their recent accomplishments throughout their season. Join us here on the Splash Live, engineer and robotics teacher from West Bloomfield High School, Mr. Francis Muylaert, as well as recent graduate Ryan Doroslovac. Thank you so much for joining us on the Splash.
Oh, good morning. Thank you
Absolutely.
for having
We
us.
appreciate you for being here first and foremost. Great, unique team that we're talking about here first and foremost. And one thing that stood out to me is that your senior-led team took second place in the League of Legends at the eSports State Finals. Congratulations, first and foremost. Ryan, can you just talk a little bit more about this experience, about that tournament, and the things that happened overall there?
Yeah, it was a ton of fun. We all had a great time. It was just a great team experience. We went out there with the idea to have fun and to play hard, and we did exactly that. And we did the best we could, only beaten by one team, and we just went out there and had a great experience and made some great memories.
Now I want to kind of take it a little bit slow, but I want us to kind of go back and just talk about esports teams in general, right? So first and foremost, let's start with you, Mr. Millard, if you don't mind. How did this esports team get started at West Bloomfield High School?
Well, it originally started as just a team of kids that came to me at one point because I run Video Game Club, which is just kind of a social club that, the kids get together one day a week and they just kind of play video games in the classroom. They have a lot of fun. It's more of a social club than anything else. And I had some kids on that came to that said, hey, we'd like to start an esports team. And I didn't know much about it. I'm an old school gamer, but we didn't have esports and stuff when I was in school.
Yeah.
So I agreed and said, what are the next steps? And they started our initial team, and that was just a 1-year thing. And then after that, administration from the high school actually come to me and said, we're looking at, expanding this and seeing what we can do. And so I started bringing it out to a couple of kids, and Ryan was one of them. And I said, hey, we're looking at starting this team, and we have this game called League of Legends, which I honestly don't know a lot about. And he's like, oh, I play that. And, so then he put the word out there and made some flyers, and we got some kids that were interested. And next thing we knew, we had 5 or 6 teams that were playing in different games, and League of Legends was one of them.
Interesting. It's interesting to see how it started off as interest from the students. They come to an educator, a staff member like yourself, who's there to support them essentially, and it turns into something that's a legit organization, recognized and supported by the school. So that's great work there overall. Ryan, I want to ask you, first and foremost, I didn't even know League of Legends was a game itself. I thought that was just the title of the tournament. So can we just talk about esports in general? What other games are you really active in when it comes to esports? First, that's my first question. And my second question is, now that you are no longer a high school student on the esports team, what are your goals with esports now?
So for esports moving on, I'd definitely be interested in college. I could see myself doing that. There's a ton of opportunity for students. It's not just League of Legends. You have stuff like Madden, you have stuff like Valorant and other stuff coming out on the scene. So League of Legends, although it was really a cornerstone and kind of the groundwork for esports, it's definitely expanding right now. But I think for me, at least, it's going to be kept to League because that's what I'm good at, and that's what I love doing.
Interesting. Yeah, Madden, you got all types. That is so crazy. And if
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
not mistaken, you can get scholarships and things like that, academic opportunities from esports nowadays. Is that correct?
Oh, yeah.
Yep. Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, you can get thousands in scholarships just by playing video games. I mean, that's almost mind-boggling to me.
Ooh.
And even out of the field, you can
Yes.
get great cash prizes and stuff, especially as you rank up in the tournament. So you can truly make a living off of this nowadays.
Yeah, there's all kinds
I
of
love
titles.
it.
We do Mario Kart, Splatoon 3. Actually, our Splatoon 3 team took first in states during the fall league. So, and then Ryan and his group took second. I think both fall and spring, right?
Fall and spring.
Yeah. So
Did I just hear you say Mario Kart? Yo, you just took me
Oh
back to
yeah.
the Nintendo 64 days. Listen, if we talking about Nintendo 64 games, put me all on the team, coach. That's what I'm talking about. I see you got the old school Pac-Man on your shirt, so I already know you old school,
Oh
Mr.
yeah.
Moylan.
I wore
I
this
already
purposely. You know,
understand
I'm
that.
old school coin popper.
Yep.
Go back from the arcade days.
But I love that we're promoting esports and the opportunities that it does create. Join us here on the Splash Live. Engineering robotics teacher, Mr. Francis Muylaert, as well as recent West Bloomfield High School graduate Ryan Doroslovac, talking about the esports team at West Bloomfield High School and their recent accomplishment at the League of Legends esports state finals, by the way. So I'm glad we talked about the opportunities post high school and everything like that. And you said you do still have interest in joining other teams, Ryan. Can you just talk about overall the message that you would want to give anybody who is interested in esports in high school or just in general?
You know, if you love something and if that's your passion, if video games is your passion, go out and do it. You know, make an opportunity for yourself. There's always going to be opportunities out in the world. You just got to look for it, you know, and come to you through your teacher sometimes when you're sitting in class saying, hey, you know, if you play video games, there's just great opportunity for it. So if you have a passion for something, you have a strive for something, go out and do something with it.
I love that. I love that. Mr. Muylaert, if you don't mind, can you give out information to anybody listening, watching, who may have interest in joining the esports team at West Bloomfield High School next season or next year, or just talk about anything that you all have going on next year, what we can expect?
Yeah, we're gonna be setting up our teams again in the fall. We set them up every fall and every spring. So at the beginning of each semester, like I was saying, we have spots for people in League of Legends, of course, Mario Kart, Splatoon, Smash Bros, Madden, NBA
Smack.
2K. There's a bunch of them. I can't name them all. Rocket League. So there are a lot of opportunities. All you have to do is come see me in room 450 at the front of the school. I run video game club usually every Thursday during the school year. So you can also come during that time. And then we set up our teams in September. Those are our fall teams and they run through December. And then in January, we'll set up our spring teams. So there's a lot of opportunities. Come in, bring your friends. You know, if you don't have a team to be with, we can often put you with someone. What's that other? Oh, Overwatch. Yep. So we have a bunch of people that are interested in Overwatch. There's a ton of different games. I mean, I don't know them all. Like I said, I'm an old school gamer, so Pac-Man, and then more recently, like the Resident Evil titles. But other than that, you know, I just kind of manage and monitor. I'm on the chat when Ryan was, you know, on there with his team to see what was going on, make sure, you know, everything's going as according and they're following the rules and they have a good time. I mean, you know, it's like a sport like anything else. They get in there, they give it their all. I think the only district that beat us was East China, right?
East Kentwood.
East Kentwood, sorry. So,
Kentwood, right. Hey, well, hey, you know what? You had me at Smash Bros and Mario Kart. Hopefully, I can find some time if the invite is there to come at least check it out. Thank you again. Joining us on the Splash Live, engineering robotics teacher, Mr. Francis Muylaert, as well as Ryan Doroslovac, joining us to talk about the esports team, West Bloomfield High School. We appreciate your time.
All right, thank you for having us.